Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of the Vodcast. Really excited for you guys to see this week's conversation. We got together some of our adult leaders alongside some of our graduating seniors. And again, we focus on the topic of this pandemic and really how it was starting to touch seniors and loss, and in all of that, I think you're going to be able to relate to some of the things that they're sharing, and you're also going to be able to be inspired by some of their perspectives. So check this out. Start off with your name, school you go to, say something else about yourself, like how you spend your time. And then the third thing I want you to share about is if you could go back to February 1st and send yourself a Post-it note, what would you write on that Post-it note?
I'm Addison Vick. I attend Colorado Early College's Fort Collins. I'm a senior there. I spend my time either exercising and trying to get outside or focusing on school or reading sometimes. If I were to write on a Post-it note for February 1st, I would say definitely enjoy your free time and enjoy your friends and the relationships you've built, just because can't really work on that as much now and with a senior semester and stuff. So yeah.
Phil Eggerling. I am a mechanical designer at a company called Woodward, incorporated here in Loveland. We're a worldwide company, and we've taken a pretty big hit with this pandemic. The one thing that I'm pretty excited about and proud about is that I get to work on a project for a ventilator that's for emergency use of, it's a mobile type of ventilator. So that's been pretty cool. The thing that February 1st, if I would have wrote a note, I would have said, don't take things for granted that you have now. Like, you know, hey, I need a gallon of milk. I could just run out to the store and grab it quick. You got to really plan and realize that your time is valuable, and it's not just completely go when you want and when you want to. You got to really plan. So that was kind of something that kind of set me back. The other thing too is the time that you were going to have with your family was going to be rewarding, and it has. It's been really cool that the time we spend together has been good, and it seems like it's we're managing and coping, which has been kind of nice.
So my name's Josiah Lincoln. I go to Resurrection Christian, and if I wrote a note, February 1st, probably say, I guess find some things that you haven't done in a while and just go out and do them.
I'm Kristen Rice, and I am a leader for Merge, and I am a stay-at-home mom of 3. And so right now we're navigating homeschooling and all the things. And me on February 1st, I would say go to the gym more, because I miss going to the gym and the little things like Phil was saying, like just that we take for granted, being able to go, that we put off or whatever, seeing people or whatever. So I'm missing, my extrovertedness is missing people a lot right now.
My name is Kate Woodward, and I go to Resurrection Christian School. I'm a senior there, and I like to spend my time running or skiing or just being outside. If I could have left myself a Post-it note back in January earlier this year, I would have told myself just to make the most of the time that you have and just like focus on those relationships and value the time that you spend with other people.
The next question that I want you guys to answer is, how would you describe what this pandemic is slowly or suddenly taking away from you?
This pandemic has definitely affected all of our seniors and how we wanted our semester to go. It's definitely taken away the opportunity to just really build those strong relationships with the people that are really close to us, or just reaching out to students in the hallways and kind of leaving a little bit of a mark on our school there. Things like prom and stuff got canceled, and sports that was another big one. Just trying to make those memories and make our last semester of high school last. We've been in school for 12 years now, and we're about to like just leave it all behind. So this pandemic has definitely just affected that, and I wish.
I would also say sports, because like for res this year we were supposed to be like the top team, because last year we got second place and this year was kind of like our time to shine. But and like we had a bunch of good players on there, and most of them already like committed to college, like they know where they're going. And so it was just kind of like their time to like I don't know, prove their worth, I guess. So, and that was just like kind of taken from them.
So something I would say that it's taken away from me is my normal day routine. And I think that can be bad or good. One thing that it has done is it's put it in perspective that, you know, just because you have a routine that you set up, and sometimes those rhythms and those routines get into a place where you don't realize that there are improvements that can be made. And I think that's one of the things that, although it's taken it away, going into work every day is something that you take for granted, and that's taken away, but it's also given me a perspective on looking for the best of what those situations are.
I would just say, in addition to like missing out on a lot of like memories and experiences for senior year, we've also missed out on a lot of like life lessons, just because just trying to figure things out before we are on our own. Like this is the time where we were like able to like finish through like learning those lessons. So I think that's something that we lost, in addition to like just like making sure that those friendships are solid and like everything at home is good before we end up leaving next year.
The thing that we lost was busyness, and for us that was actually a good thing. We are sad about all the last, you know, like I have a fifth grader that was supposed to have his little graduation or whatever, but the loss of busyness was something that we're feeling, and just the instant slowing down, nothing on the calendar, was just crazy.
Hey, we're having a great conversation so far. On the other side of the break, we'll dive into it just a little bit more, kind of the loss in the season and how we deal with it. But first, check this out. Hey, welcome back. Let's jump back into the conversation. How have you found yourself coping with what's being taken away? How have you found yourself trying to make sense out of what you're having to lose in this pandemic?
One thing for me that's kind of helped is like to stay active, to just like working out every day, like at home body workouts, whatever, because I don't have weights. And then like also hiking and like going on bike rides and stuff. So that's kind of like helped me, I don't know, like get out of like just like online school mode or whatever, and just like being stuck at home with really nothing to do.
I have noticed I have also been able to focus a little bit more like on myself. So actively exercising every day, going for walks. But then I've also started to be able to just sit down and either read my Bible or journal a little bit more, just because I don't have a main priority of school 100% all the time.
I would just say like finding a routine, kind of like what they were saying. Like I spend a time like working out and some family time and some devotional time and time reading. And I've also like found like new things that I like to do. Like I've kind of started playing guitar and kind of got into road biking with my brother and my mom. So just like keeping life like at a pattern rather than just like sitting around all day.
What inspired the guitar thing?
I don't know. When I was in 6th grade, I bought a guitar and I was like, this is it. Like, I'm going to be so great. But then I kind of just forgot about it and I stuck it under my bed. But then, like, last week I was looking and I was like, what is this? And I was like, I forgot I even had a guitar. So kind of picked it up and, like, saw what I could do. So
I've lost community, knowing that Wednesday night is a community opportunity, and then of course the weekend's church service. So how I've coped with it is trying to adjust to the online platform and embracing that, and knowing that reaching in towards what the purpose of it is, and not realizing that it doesn't have to be traveling and going to a place that is a building, and trying to really internally go in and understand what that purpose is, and looking towards that relationship with God.
And I would say for us coping, I'm one of those people that needs to I need vitamin D. I need to be outside at least once a day, whether we mountain biking or hiking or snowshoeing or whatever we're doing, playing kickball. So we are outside a lot, and that's big. And then tons of Zoom calls with friends, and we started playing code names. You can do that online, which is super fun. And so we've been doing that with friends and family at night. So anyways, just finding ways to connect, but mostly just get outside for me.
So the code names thing, does like somebody have the board game on the other side, or is there like a software that then incorporates video chat?
Oh my gosh, it's the best. So you FaceTime with one device, and then you have like your laptop or iPad or whatever up to the link, and everybody sees the same screen. And then like whoever you're sitting with, or if you're by yourself, another person, you're like the spy master. And so you're muted.
Sorry, I said that's so great.
It's so fun. I'll give you the link.
Yeah, code names is fun. So I think for me, 2 things float to the top. Number one, and this one's a little bit cheesy, but you know, it's me, whatever. So my little brothers they just know more about video games than I do. And for the longest time, they've been talking to me about like the Batman video game series, Arkham Knight. And I don't know, I never had time to do it. And then all of a sudden I found myself in this pandemic, and I guess PlayStation had a huge sale where you could get all the games at like 90% off or something. So I did it. And yeah, so that's been real interesting, kind of jumping into that world. It's been like 5 years in the making. And so doing that's been fun, distracting. I don't know, anytime I get into a weird space, that can kind of just, again, distract me enough. That then when I'm done, it's like, okay, I'm back to a normal space. Let's get some real stuff done. And then the other thing is, I was sharing with our staff this morning, you're just kind of in a season of isolation. You have a lot of time to think deeply. I don't know, like to think and to confront just the imperfections about your life. And so the other thing that's just kind of been, I think it's been good. It hasn't been fun. But yeah, spending more time confronting and dealing with, you know, just areas of your life that you wish the Lord would fix sooner, you know? So yeah, that both of those things have been really kind of helpful as far as dealing with the losses in this season. I just feel like, hey, good things are happening. The Lord is at work here. You know, so maybe one more question would be is, if you had a chance to give one piece of advice to seniors today, or anybody who's dealing with kind of grieving, with having to lose something in the season, and you give them one piece of advice, like what do you pass on?
One, journal, and just even if you do it one time, write down to like your grandkids a note to them or a letter to them or some kind of journal entry, because it's so historic where the whole world shuts down, and what you did lose and how you're feeling about that, that would be such a gift, I think, in 20, 30, 40 years. One thing is, as hard, you have so many losses this semester, and that is so hard. It's so unprecedented and so sad. And yet at the same time, you have this really sacred time with your family. Just really soak in this sacred time, because this is really the last time that you'll be living at home.
I would definitely say learn how to communicate. I know at least for my generation, our seniors, we communicate through text and everything, but we need to learn how to communicate like over the phone or over FaceTime or Zoom a little bit better. So definitely communication is definitely key. It's been really hard for me to like adjust to this. FaceTime, Zoom kind of thing has definitely taught us how to communicate. Definitely just be creative. Figure out ways to have fun over Zoom or over FaceTime, or just be creative with the things you lost. So for like example, my dad took me out for like car side to go and for prom kind of thing. And so even though I didn't get to go to like a dance or whatnot, we still dressed up, took some pictures, got dinner. So just find creative ways to work around the things you lost.
Get closer to your family, I guess. Spend quality time with it. Because like the past, literally like every day since like coronavirus hit, we've like watched movies together like every night. So I guess do that and kind of just reflect on like what you like took for granted, I guess, because then you'll have like better appreciation for that in the future.
My advice would be embrace this. As Kristen said, this is one for the history books, and for the seniors that are getting ready to go out in the world, this is an amazing opportunity for you. The fact is that you guys are going to get to figure out how to solve this. You get to figure out how to make this a better place and world, when the fact is that this has happened, and the things that are going to come out of it are going to be amazing to watch and see. My other advice is don't let the fear of what everything is being said and done be able to limit your relationships with those that care about you, and especially with God.
My first one is kind of just to be intentional with this time, whether that's with your relationships with your friends and your family. And then my second thing is to try to find peace in the waiting, because there's going to be a lot of times in our life where you're just waiting for something. And this is a really extreme version of that, but you can kind of learn a lot. So my verse with that I've been focusing on is 2 Timothy 1 verse 7. And it says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and of a sound mind." So that has kind of just helped me to like be like, okay, like we never get a break like this. So like there's definitely a lot that I can get out of this in my health and in my faith and in my relationships with others.
Wow, what a great conversation. I'm really excited to share kind of a reflection with you on the other side of the break, so stay tuned.
Okay, Dad, you have two options. A, staying quarantined in the house with Mom, or B.
B.
Yeah, I want to go back and read the passage that Kate shared with us, 2 Timothy Chapter 1, verse 7, for the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline. And what's so interesting to me about this passage that Kate shared with us was Paul. He's actually in jail at this point in time, and this would be the last letter from Paul before he dies. And so for a guy to be in jail, literally on the verge of the end of his life, of death, to be encouraging one of his disciples, Timothy, and reminding him, hey, what's in you, right? The Spirit of God that's in you is one of power, love, and self-control. Like you have more than what you need. And I really appreciate that, because throughout this whole thing, there is no shortage of stories of loss. And yet even so, the intentionality that's being pursued, whether they're taking this time to journal more or to pursue community or to get better at communication, whatever it is, like there's a trust that's being leaned into there, and not a trust on self, but a trust on who the Lord is and the Holy Spirit in the believer. So thank you for joining us this week and checking out this vodcast. Definitely want to keep inviting you guys to hang out with us as we continue to develop this new Foundation Students Live portion of our program. We'll continue to get together Wednesday nights at 6:00 through Zoom. And we'll continue to upload this for this season, and we're going to band together until we get through this. So love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you soon.